Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, hello everyone, and welcome to the Money and More Network. This is your host, Wendy Cassera, and welcome to Fantasy Island, right? Does anybody remember that movie? He always started with, I am your host, but I'm not at Fantasy Island. I am on the Money and More Network, and I am hoping to bring a little Fantasy Island to everyone's life all the time. It's my mission in life, my vision. Take the fear out of your finances, help you step away from that money block so that you can jump into what you love to do and continue to do it with success. As we all know, it's all success, right? Here's our quote for the day. Remind yourself that it's okay to not be perfect. Isn't that a nice quote for the day? Because we all think we should be. I know that one of the things I get caught up in my head about a lot is, I'm an accountant. I work with people's money and people's taxes, and so I'm expected to not make mistakes because, that's people's money and their taxes and stuff, and that really affects them. And, you go to a doctor and you expect a doctor to not make mistakes because, he's a doctor. He's gone to school. He's done all that schooling. He's worked with the body. He should know everything. But, the funny thing is with a doctor, we just assume the human body is so complex. There's no way he could know everything, right? And I think that's true with all of us and all of our businesses. We feel like, though we are the expert, and I admit I am the taxpert, that we shouldn't make mistakes, and we all do. So we're going to jump up, turn around, and get back into it. Next time you're stressed, take a step back, inhale, and laugh. Remember who you are and why you're here. You're never given anything in this world that you can't handle. Be strong, be flexible, love yourself and love others, and just remember to always keep moving forward. We talked about that Lisa Wimberger, drop by drop, filling the bucket. Anyhow, that was kind of nice. Kind of got off on that kind of a tangent. As I said, I'm Wendy Cassera. I'm with Taxpectations, your bookkeeping, accounting, and all things taxes source. The website says all roads lead to taxes, and eventually everything gets there, right? Two things in life that are certain, death and taxes. We only die once. We got to do taxes all the damn time. So here I am to help you. Here I am to save the day. Mighty Mouse, right? Kind of funny. That kind of popped in too. So I am not going to read the IRS disclaimer today, and I'm going to tell you why. The IRS, Office of Professional Responsibility, sent out a letter to all practitioners to stop using the Circular 230 disclaimer. And one of the reasons that they gave was because that disclaimer pretty much says the tax preparer is not liable for anything. You're on your own. A lot of tax preparers were becoming complacent. They weren't backing up their work properly. They weren't making reasonable judgments or legal assumptions and reasonable facts. There were some other things that were occurring. So the IRS, Office of Professional Responsibility, said that they needed to stop giving tax preparers a crutch. So, it just goes to show if you can't trust a tax preparer, if you don't think he's doing the right thing for you, you should get another one, and that's me. Just saying. That's just me. Just saying. So, I was, I got this. I was reading the Accounting Today magazine. I love this magazine. Just, it says all kinds of things about accounting and taxes and all that stuff. And, there was 4 pages on the ACA stuff, the Affordable Care Act and all the documentation and stuff that is going to go with it for this tax season. And listening on Facebook to some of the tax preparers going on and on about some of the issues they're already running across. They did say that this was going to be the hardest year on record ever for doing tax returns. And I'm telling you, as I'm going through this, it's taking a little bit longer. Somebody came up to me yesterday, was upset a little bit because I had raised my prices since last year, and their tax return didn't change much. And I really had to explain that it had nothing to do with whether or not their tax return changed. It had to do with the fact that the rules for doing taxes have changed. and with all of the medical insurance and medical stuff that we have to go through, as well as all the other things. And as I stated before, statistics. This is your warning. The statistics are coming up. The according to one of them, I don't know, was it Forbes or one of the magazines I read, that stated that on average tax laws, there's 1.5 tax law changes every day, every single day. That's what our country's gotten to. 1.5 changes every day. And I was on the cruise last week. I hope you all enjoy that replay of the budgeting. I was on the cruise last week, and we were talking to several people, because there were some people from Canada there and other places, and it's really neat. I had to sidestep again. I am now an international speaker. How's that? Isn't that awesome? If I had clapping sounds, I would be clapping right now. So everybody's going to clap. Get together, clap. Yay! I'm an international speaker. Anyhow, so we were talking about different things, and I was sitting next to, at breakfast one morning, a couple of accountants from Canada, and they were talking about the different taxes and tax laws and all that, and they were asking a lot of questions, and I thought it was kind of interesting, because when I was in November back in LA at a function back then, I got to talk to an accountant from Africa, and she had said that she loves doing accounting and she loves doing taxes, but she would never do them in the United States. Now, Africa's tax base is higher than ours is. As well, Canada's is higher than ours is, and as I have talked about before in previous shows, the United States is actually one of the lowest tax in the world. I mean, really, we don't have as high a tax rate as everybody else does. We just have a lot more taxes on a lot more things. But even together, they don't add up to what some of the other countries have to go through. And the reason this Canadian couple were asking questions was, they were attempting to kind of assess things as well. They'd only done taxes and accounting in Canada, and the different things that are and are not taxed out there. And it was kind of really super fascinating. But, everybody complains because the problem is not that our tax base is lower. It's because there are so many changes, constant changes to our tax laws, and that some people find that kind of daunting, because there's so much to think about and know, and they change every single year, and in states they're changing. So an average of 1.5 tax laws are changed every single day. So I just keep reading and we keep going, and life is good. I'm telling you. Where's I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that, but now you know. So the magazine I was reading, Accounting Today magazine, I had it out. Ding, ding, ding. Reminder, go back to what you were doing. Was just talking about all the changes, and it had a big article, because 2015, a lot of people make changes in their businesses and in their lives, and with all the tax law changes, accounting businesses and tax businesses are all changing, and they had this list that was like 4 pages long of apps that you can have for your phone, programs you can have for your computer, all kinds of technology that you can use to make your life easier as a tax preparer and an accountant. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow. This is part of what always gets me smiling. I pride myself on being a tax accountant and a bookkeeper and a coach, and talking to people about their individual needs, finding out about their industry, but finding out about their personality and their individuality, and what's going to work for them and what's going to make it easiest for them. Because, of course, we know that not two people are alike, not ever, not me, not you, not everybody. You can be married, you can be twins, and you're still not alike. So when it comes to doing things in your life, no two people are alike, and that just kind of reminded me, because it talked about different programs that we can use and apps that we can use to make things easier. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday about he was attempting to find a better way to track his mileage, because he didn't like having to have a logbook, and he has several employees that use company trucks, and they don't want to use the logbook either. So we talked about different kinds of things he could use, appointment calendars, certainly being one of them, my favorite one to use, and I suggest that to a lot of people. Just get an electric calendar, on your phone, an app on your phone, get it to sync up with your computer, then you can print it out and add up all your mileage if you have all your appointments downlisted. There's free apps you can use to track all your mileage. QuickBooks now tracks mileage. That's kind of cool. So you can use your QuickBooks program that you're doing for your accounting to track mileage. There's lots of different ways to do it. Some people even just use their oil change logs because they put the odometer reading on the oil change log, so they kind of know how much of it they spent on personal, how much on between oil changes, that kind of thing. And there's lots of different ways to do it, but that was the whole point of the thing. Was there are lots of different ways to do it. You really need to find something that's comfortable for you. And just as the magazine was pointing out different apps you can use in different programs, it's really what you're going to use. What works for you, what sings to you, what resonates with you. And that's the same way it is with bookkeeping, accounting, and taxes. You've got to find someone that's going to work with you, that's going to understand what you're going through, and really pay attention and make it personalized. Wow, off on another tangent. Dun, dun, dun. We like it when that happens. Anyhow, so I was looking at several things. When I was chatting on the cruise, I had a workshop, and it was business finances, and I thought it went pretty well. Same kind of thing. Talked a little bit about the fact that it's important to find a system that works for you, and so that was kind of fun. We had a lot of different people, so it's interesting. I attempt to get some communication, get the audience participation and see how things are doing and see what works for people. And again, I had another person. She was talking about spreadsheets. She had spreadsheets. She was using spreadsheets for everything, and she loved her spreadsheets. And she was really worried that was not going to work for her, and that she needed to get QuickBooks, or she needed to get an accounting program. And I said that her spreadsheets, if they work for her and she's got everything on it, are perfect. Use the example of the the Franklin Covey calendar system, and using that, there are lots of different ways. So it was kind of really super nice. Super nice. Another thing I suggested to them, and I brought this up before, wanted to bring it up again because it's a really great system. I'm starting to use it with a lot of my clients. Create a Gmail account that is specifically for your receipts and your invoices, your bills coming in and out, your business stuff. Not all the things you sign up for, not not even for your clients to send in, although you can certainly do that. But if you had just one Gmail account whose sole purpose was to create all of your, to gather all your receipts and your invoices, it's really easy, because then you can give that password, login and password to your accountant and all your stuff. Because now, you can go to the grocery store and ask them to send you email you a receipt, and they will. Definitely Home Depot, Lowe's, Staples, office supply stores, all of those places that, especially that cater to businesses, are more than willing to email you receipts. And it's better to not worry about the receipt getting crumpled in the bottom of your purse or the console of your truck if you can have it emailed to a Gmail account that is dedicated for that very, very purpose. So, great suggestion, helpful tip. Your tip for the day, a helpful system for tracking your expenses. Got back to looking at that we talked about before, How to Avoid Work, a 1949 guide to doing what you love. And I just love this thing. Back when bones were bones and things were things, it just really, really interesting. But I love the fact that it was called How to Avoid Work. It wasn't how to avoid, because if you're doing what you love, it's not really work. And I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. And there was lots of things. I've talked about lots of different tips and things in there. One of the things they talked about was there's only one way in this world to achieve true happiness, and that is to express yourself with all of your skill and enthusiasm in a career that appeals to you more than any other. This career will help you feel a sense of purpose and a sense of achievement. And, if you're making a contribution, if you're really doing things that you love, it's not work. It's fun, it's expressive, it's part of who you are. So it becomes an extension of you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I think that's an awesome and wonderful thing. People say, "What do you do to relax?" Well, I read tax journals. And a lot of people go, "Well, that's not relaxing." Well, you know what? It is to me because that's part of who I am and what I do. And it's like the surgeon who practices sutures on the watermelon, or the artist who's got a sketchbook all the time, open up and drawing. It's kind of funny because think about that. I mean, when was the last time that somebody told an artist who's sitting in a cafe sketching that they need to learn to relax? You just assume that the artist is relaxing because that's what artists do. They're like relaxed and they're drawing or coloring or painting or taking photos or whatever, and that's their zen. That's how they're relaxing, and that in and itself tells you that that's their gift, and that's their gift because they're relaxed while they're doing it. And what you're out doing, whatever it is that you're accomplishing, that's your gift. That's your zen. And it's okay to enjoy doing that and stop fighting the fact that in the evening when you're sitting down, you pick up a tax journal or you pick up something that you're making in your shop or you're designing a new product or any of those things. Because if that's your zen, that's wonderful. And you should keep doing it. Anyhow, it the book went on to talk about different things in a business and different things in life and not working and enjoying yourself. And I thought it was kind of interesting because they had what they called a general division of labor for any field. In every business, there are 4 major jobs to be done. Number 1 job is creative, inventing, discovering, or developing new ideas. The number 2 job is administrative, making plans and policies and supervision of the entire business or project. Number 3 is executive, directing the work of others and actually carrying out plans and policies in one or more departments or sections. Number 4 is line, performing some individual routine tasks that involving no responsibility for the work of others. And it goes on to talk about those 4 different jobs and what kind of people like to do them, because everybody likes them. There's something in your work that you love to do. It was kind of a big joke when we were sitting around at the table. I'm a paperwork pusher, right? Number cruncher, paperwork pusher. And for most people, that's not the job they love. For me, it's the job I love. I used to walk around and bemoan the fact that I didn't ever think I was a creative personality. I don't draw. I don't create art. And somebody pointed out to me the fact that crunching these numbers and being able to put together this puzzle pieces for people was a form of being creative. Any of you who've seen my business card, it has a picture of a puzzle on it, and the puzzle has some pieces taken out, and it's got a magnifying glass. And of course, the puzzle is money; it's the dollar bills, so it's kind of cool. But I chose that as my logo, my brand, because to me, that's what it is. It's a piece of your life, and it's a piece of your work. No matter who you are, money plays a part. There's not one of you listening, one of you out there in the world that money doesn't play a part in what you do, whether you have a lot of it and you don't ever have to worry about it, or whether you don't have very much and so you have to really manage those pennies and those dollars very carefully. Money plays a part in your life. And my gift, my joy, my not work is dealing with money and helping you put those pieces together, however that puzzle is for you, because everybody's puzzle looks different, which is really super, super cool. People say, don't you get bored with all that paperwork? No, because it's never the same. Even if you get 2 businesses in the same industry, it's not the same because people are different, and what you do and say and think and feel is all different. One of the speakers on the cruise was gave a 45-minute talk on the senses, the five senses, and I thought it was really super, super awesome. She didn't stand up there and lecture, and of course, I learned more about myself. I learned that I like to lecture, and I need to learn how to get around that. But that's a learning curve for another day. But she talked about the five senses, and she led us through each one. When she said hearing, what is something that you hear that makes you feel joyful and happy? Brings up a good memory, or just for the sake of the noise makes you happy. And she did this with each of our five senses, and it was really, really super interesting what people came up with. And I thought it was awesome because she reminded us that there's always joy in the world no matter what. And if we get into those moments when we're stressing out or whatever it is, to call on something as simple as the taste of your mother's fried chicken that she made on a weekend when you were all having a barbecue outside, and she made potato salad and she made fried chicken, and there was kids running around and screaming and a lot of people having fun, and it was just a moment, even if it was just a moment, because all those brothers and sisters together getting together and fighting or whatever it is. There's just a moment when you just smell the fried chicken and you take your first bite of it, and it's just divine, absolutely divine. What a great memory, what a great place to go back to, and we all need to find those places within ourselves, Find what makes us work. And I brought up the four major jobs to be done simply to point out that there are jobs in every company, and there are some jobs you like doing and there are some jobs you don't. Right? I do all the paperwork, so I'm okay doing my own bookkeeping and accounting and taxes. But I was talking to a lady who does website designs and marketing. Okay, you want to see a grown accountant cry? Let me work on my website. Just doesn't happen for me. It's easy for her. It takes her a few minutes. It takes me hours of frustration and stress. So what's the best thing in the world to do? Farm it out, give it to someone, delegate it, give it to someone who can handle it, who loves to do that kind of work. Because you're saving yourself, number one, hours, you're saving yourself stress. There's a lot of things, and I talk about numbers all the time, and let me tell you that it's very, very important that when you're calculating budgets, when you're calculating your books, when you're calculating the cost of things, you also have to calculate time into that factor. What is your time worth? Okay? I have a basic bookkeeping program that starts at $300 a month, right? That balances your checkbooks. It balances your credit card statement, your merchant account, a few other things like that. It's a basic balancing, basic bookkeeping. How many hours does it take you to do that? How much is your time worth? What else could you be doing? Would you rather be spending the evenings with your family, having dinner and watching movies, or drawing or creating a new product, or what would you rather be doing than spending that time? I mean, I explain to my clients it's $75 a week. It's a good dinner out to get your bookkeeping done by me rather than sitting and spending your time in frustration. Okay, it costs me a client or two at that rate to have somebody to work on my website. Is that worth it to me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because the hours I spend attempting to figure out my website is much doing housework, spending time with the man that makes me smile in front of a good movie. These things are all worth a lot more than $75 a week, don't you think? So it's just kind of figure out what you love to do what you love to do, enjoy it, and put yourself into it, because if you do what you love, it won't be work. Loved that. Absolutely loved that. What a great thing. I was going to do some talking about sales and pricing and all that sort of thing, but I think we're going to leave that for another day. One of the other things I just wanted to bring up real briefly as we are getting ready to run out of time is planning. Talked about budgeting, replayed the budgeting thing last week. We've talked about budgeting and planning before. Really, really super important. Plan your time, plan your money, plan your business. Sit down and make yourself up a business plan. I'm going to be giving a workshop, online webinar on business planning, um, to help people to come up with what they are doing, where they want to go in their business, and how to get there. Because one of the things I think that help a lot of people, I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, brand new client, and he was saying, I need some ideas on how to make my business grow. And I said, okay, that works. We can sit down and we can figure that out. But where do you want it to go? Well, I don't know. I just want to grow it. Okay. If you don't know where you want to go, getting in your car and driving down the road is probably not a really good idea, because eventually you're going to run out of gas because you don't know where you're going, and you're going to cause confusion and chaos because you're driving down the road and not going anywhere specific. Which I'm not in any way ever saying that that's a bad thing, because sometimes it can be fun. It can be challenging. But in your business, you don't want to go down the road without a map. You don't want to just plunge ahead and hope for the best, especially if you really do plan to grow your business. If you want to make more money, or you want to grow your people, or you want to grow your products, or whatever it is, you got to kind of have a plan. You don't have to have every single detail. Though details are important, and those come along, and you need to work on them as they're needed, but you got to at least have a plan. So give me a call anytime. My email, Wendy at taxpectations.com. Come find me. Send me an email. We'll set up an appointment. We'll get together and we'll talk about your plan. Also, full tax season. We got it going on. If you are looking for a good tax preparer, wherever you are in the United States, I can prepare taxes from anywhere. Because with all of our new technology, we have lots of ways to do that. And all the taxes are filed electronically, so they don't even need to be signed. I can get you the forms that says you authorize it to be done. You email, scan, fax, whatever, get it back to me, and we're off and running. So if you would like your taxes prepared by someone who just, wait, another congratulations, hand clapping. I got to put some hand clapping music on here. Passed the IFRS exam for the IRS, so I was kind of really super excited about that, because then I get to be listed on the IRS's website under people who took and passed that test, which was kind of interesting. You know, had some new tax law changes and some old ones. Let you do a little bit of review. Had to do a little bit of adding up with a pencil and paper. Yes, people still use pencil and paper. Isn't that awesome? Anyhow, so give me a call, send me an email, find my website, www.tax, and there's a contact form there, as well as my phone number and email. Give me a call. Find me on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all those other wonderful places, and we will connect, and I will help very happily take care of you, because what do we do on this show? We are happy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Because I'm happy. Because happiness is the truth. I love the hot air balloon. You know, it's a neat thing to think about. Breathing is important, people. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Jump in with both feet and enjoy your week, your afternoon, your evening, and all those other wonderful times of day. Have a great day. I will talk to you again next week, same time, same channel. Bye-bye.